Hello everybody, this is Dr. Novak once again, and someone asked me to show how I set up my canister filter. I use the Eheim Ecco. This is what I use. I've been using Eheims for years. Literally, I had one Eheim last me 18 years. So I've tried other canister filters, and Marine Land, when they came out with their new Marine Land, where it was a canister filter and you would just put a cartridge in there. Trouble is, I stopped using it because as they made replacement parts, the replacement parts got cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and they would break easily. And I thought for American-made product, that was disgusting. I tried Fluvos from Italy. I think I've had a couple of different Italian filters besides Fluval. What I found out is they rattle. And I will do a video on how to stop Eheims or Fluvals from rattling. But I never could quite get the Fluvals to stop the rattling noise of the impellers. Where the Eheims, if you need to fix them, I'm going to do a video on it. Real simple, easy fix. And when I take the impeller apart, I will show you exactly what I did to fix this. It's real simple. And then it won't rattle the rest of its lifetime. Anyhow, I couldn't get the Fluvals not to stop rattling. Now, I don't know about the new ones. Maybe, you know, if a manufacturer sent me a filter, I would test it out and see if it started rattling. But I really hated that because I had the old Fluvals. I thought they were nicely set up, everything else, but they just wouldn't stop rattling, and I didn't like that. So I had this Echo. I've had a 2214, 2217, the old-fashioned filters. 2214 I've had for 20 years. I have a 2217. It's maybe 5 years old. I know some people don't like Eheims. That's okay, whatever. I use them because they've always done good for me. And I know some of you probably can tell me horror stories about Eheim, but that's the reason I use the Eheim. But anyway, it doesn't matter what filter you use. Someone asked me, they said, hey, could you show us how you set up your filter? Now, I set up my filters because I do not buy into manufacturers and all the gimmickry that they have. You know, they have a lot of gimmicks, and they sell you a lot of things that you really don't need because they convince you with their advertisement that what they are selling is great and it's going to grow a lot of bacteria. First thing we have to remember about canister filters, they are mechanical filters, and they're designed to be a mechanical filter, and they're designed to take pollution out of the water and clean it or polish it. That's what I really like about canister filters today, is you can set them up to polish the water. You know, you can bring them down to like 5 micron. So what I do, I have these beads. They're little noodles. They've always been called noodles. I've had these since the 80s when I had mini reef tanks. So that would be the early 1980s. They don't go bad. Once in a while you may break one. Other than that, once you buy these are not really for bacteria purposes. They're ceramic. They're ceramic noodles. The point of this is that when the water comes into this particular filter, it must go through this sponge, okay, on this particular filter. And this is good because it will collect bigger materials. And that's your first line of defense, just to collect any leaves you may suck up or anything that's quite large. It's easy to clean. They're not very expensive. They will do biological after about 30 days. And they work just fine, you know, for this particular filter. Then after it goes through this, the water after it goes through this, then this is my first stage because the water is going in. It has to come through here first. This is just a matrix. So the water is now being spread out through wider surface area than you would get if you had to hang on the back filter. So the water has to come through here. So any particles, particulate matter and stuff that comes through here is going to maybe, hopefully, dislodge in here, some of it, not 100%. So the next step I take, after this, I don't buy anything big. I got some of this sponge here, and I cut it. You can buy this on the internet, this sponge. It's tighter than this, the matrix is. So this is going to pick up even smaller particulate matter, okay? No problem. And I cut it and I fit it in there. I think you could buy something a little tighter than this if you want. And this thing goes a little tighter. And I think this was supposed to be carbon impregnated sponge, but I never found them to really do much as far as carbon impregnated sponges. So what I do is I set them up just like you see here. So this is what I do. I stack it up. I don't use anything elaborate. In other words, all the stuff that the manufacturers sell, 99% of it's just garbage. It's all a bunch of garbage so they can make more money. This stuff is what I use. You can buy this at Walmart, Kmart, Michael's, any shop. It is a batty material that's an inch thick. It's an inch thick. I've been using it since the late 1970s. It's safe. It's made for babies and stuff. It's got to be safe because it's made for babies. You know, you make a blanket out of it or whatever. This stuff works like a charm. Get yourself some real good scissors and it cuts it like butter. You know, doll scissors don't, nice sharp, and I only use these scissors to cut this. And I buy a whole big bag of it. It's next to nothing. And that's all you need. You won't believe how much bacteria is going to grow in this. There's nothing you can buy on the market today that's going to grow more bacteria than this. And I'm going to tell you why. Back in the early 80s, when they made what they used to call mini reef tanks, they used to use this with a mesh, a plastic black mesh. And it was really open. And they would roll it in rolls. And then you would put that in a filter. So there was a gap in between as this thing was all rolled up. The amount of bacteria that could be harvested in something like this is far better than anything you can imagine. You know, I've done the test on it. A lot more than what you can think. Plus the fact you have the extra added benefit, okay, of the more you pack this up, like this is the last one, this will go on top. You can put 2 of these. You're going to get a 50 micron, 40 micron filter now as it becomes clogged. You're going to be unbelievable how this is going to work to really polish your water. So you don't really need a diatom filter anymore because these will do the job for you. These are very tight matrix and you can, on the lid here, if you want it, you can even add one here if you want it. Or you can add a third one here, like this. This, like I said, this is so cheap. You just pile this up like this. If you're really thinking, well, I need the bacteria, blah, 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 you know. And now you close this up. It locks into place. This one locks into place. And all the new filters today, except for the old Eheim Classics, they're basically going to be pretty simple like this. And they'll all lock into place like this. That's done. This is done. Okay. And I guarantee you that's it. Stay away from all the expensive stuff. It's just all gimmickry. It's not going to improve your biological filter any. All that stuff is designed so your canister filter is going to last longer and longer and longer in between cleanings. And if, I hate to say it, but if you're that lazy and don't want to clean your canister filter, oh, what are you doing with fish anyhow? These animals are depending on you. Come on, you can let this go for 60 days, even as long as 90 days, but then clean it. I clean mine about every 60 days. If I see something going on in the tank that I don't like, I'll stop the filter and clean it immediately. In fact, I just cleaned this filter, and you believe it's only been up a month, and it was filthy dirty. The floss was. I mean, it was just filthy from picking up stuff, because it almost acts like a micron filter. Don't waste your money, people. Don't waste your money on all the expensive stuff. This just fits right into here. Most of the filters work the same way. Don't be fished in that you have to buy all this special ceramics and anything else. And if you really have a sump, you know, you see these videos of sumps, and they have all these ceramics in it. As you notice in my video, all I had, I took out everything. All I had was the 3 BCB baskets. That's it. Those carried enough bacteria for that whole tank. And they're easy to clean. All you have to do is pull the basket out, if you want, and rinse it and put it back. You don't dismantle the basket when I made those BCBs in my other videos. That's it. You just take them out, squirt them with water, don't worry about the bacteria, put them back into your sump. You're done. All you need is a good pre-filter. Put about 3 or 4 of those baskets in there, depending on the size of your tank, what your fish load's going to be. You're done. You don't need all this matrix, because all that stuff is designed to just make money off of you. That's all. It's designed just to make money. No microbiologist is going to tell you you have to have a special kind of matrix, kind of ceramic noodles or anything else, and it's going to be great. You might as well just buy a sponge, and it's going to do the same thing. Exactly the same thing. But see, they sell all these products. They convince you that these products are super great. Then you get hobbyists on there that say, oh, I use that, and it's great. It's great. It's absolutely great. I don't know, people. I've been in this microbiology for 40 years of my life. 40 years I've been dealing with this stuff. I have to honestly say, I don't find anything out there that is great. And if I did, believe me, I'd tell you honestly, hey, I found something. But it's not there. You might as well use the floss. You might as well use this floss that's in here. You might as well use this for your canister. Save your money. And then the good thing of it is when your canister needs cleaning, you just throw it away and put new pieces in. You're only spending pennies. Pennies. You take it, throw it away. Put brand new in. You don't have to clean it. And all these manufacturers that sell all these special ceramic noodles or ceramic blocks, right? What do they always say? To replace it after so long. Because they know that all this stuff clogs up. They know it's called polymeric adhesive that bacteria make. You see it on the slime that grows into your impeller that turns it brown. That's the adhesive that they make. When you have a BCB, they don't need to make that adhesive and clog anything up. That's why the anoxic filtration system does not clog. Bacteria don't need to make that polymeric adhesive for water shear like you do in your hoses. They don't need to do that. They just go about clinging on to something. They don't need to make that adhesive. So when you open up those baskets and get in there maybe after 10 years, if you want to see what, you're going to notice no black, no nothing. It won't smell bad. And that's why it remains open to chemical and biological mediators, because it doesn't clog. Like this eventually is going to clog because we're forcing water through it with detritus, and this is going to clog. But this is serving a purpose. This is here to polish my water and to clean it. That's what it's for. So you have to remember that. Don't depend on canisters unless you're running a completely empty tank that has no substrate in it. Then you're going to have to depend on these to make biological filter. I understand that, and nobody is debating that. But if you already have, like I showed my last videos where I made the slow-moving plenum and stuff, you don't have to worry about that. The plenum's going to take care of everything. It's going to take care of all your biological needs. So you don't have to worry about it. Don't worry about this. Use this only as a mechanical filter to do the job for you, so it will last at least, 60 days or 90 days. I would say 90 days would be the longest, but I would really say also that watch your fish tank. Pay attention to if you're starting to get excessive amounts of algae or anything else, or your fish aren't looking good. Clean it. It's time to clean it. And the way I have this set up, very easy to clean. Now the last thing I want to show you is a lot of people have trouble priming canister filters. And I read about that and I'm wondering, what is the problem? What you do is you put your canister filter in a sink and fill it up. Just like you see here, it's filled up. You take your lid, you put that on. Now this is with any filter you buy. Let's see if I got this on the right way or the wrong way. Yep, maybe. Yeah, that's the right way. Of course, it won't go on. And now you press it down. There. That's it. All filters, you do the same way. You fill them up all the way and you'll see that there's water in the intake and outtake. Guess what? You don't have to prime it. You're done. You're going to put it underneath your tank. This thing's going to start up. It's going to start the priming for you immediately. You're done. I cannot understand why I hear so many hobbyists. They complain that they can't get their canister filters primed. They have a lot of trouble. I've been doing this for years and years and years. It's filled. It's 100% filled. Even if your hoses have no water in them, as soon as it starts up, it's immediately going to start to siphon. You're done. So make sure you fill the canister up. Yeah, it's heavy. Don't take an empty canister to your tank. Fill it up just the way you saw I did. And once you start it up, it will just automatically start up. It's a piece of cake. Every canister filter gets treated the same way. Doesn't matter if it's an Eheim, doesn't matter if it's full, it doesn't matter whose you buy. Fill the thing all the way up. Push the lid on. If water comes out of here, don't worry about it. Now when you hook up your hoses, you're done. It's going to start up right away. You're not going to have a problem. You don't have to worry about taking this and priming it or anything else. I do not know why it is just so difficult for hobbyists to realize how to set up a canister. The only thing I can think of is they don't want to carry over to the aquarium a full canister. But that's it. I'm not going to have a bit of trouble starting this. Not one bit of trouble. Even if the hoses are empty. All right. Okay, I hope you enjoyed my video. I got this picture of this very elaborate filter here. This is something that it's for a sump. I imagine it's very expensive. Very nice, very well thought out filter for your mini reef tanks. My next video is going to be about ADA, a superjet filter, which is supposed to be the best canister filter you can buy. And I'm going to do an unboxing of that filter, and basically I'm buying that filter, getting that filter because I'm going to make an anoxic filter out of it. And I'm going to show everybody how to do that, to actually take a canister and make an anoxic filter out of it. Like the filter that you're seeing here, that's absolutely beautiful. The ADA canister filters are supposed to be the top of the line of all canister filters, all stainless steel. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I know for those old timers, this is probably very boring. For someone who's brand new, maybe it was helpful. Hopefully you learned something that you won't waste your money on buying very expensive products. That's basically all I wanted to get across to you. But don't think, the reason I got this ADA filter, and I'll do it next time, is because don't think that any of these filters that I have said, like Eheim's or something, they don't go without their problems. They don't go without their parts breaking, or things like constantly have to be replaced. Some of these filters I've had for a long time, but a lot of parts on them either broke or leaked or had to be replaced constantly to get them to last that long, until finally I just gave up on some of these filters because the impellers or whatever would just blow up and fall all apart. It could be because of age. But anyhow, that will be on my next video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, this is Dr. Novak. Happy fish keeping.